I'm going to make a white wine flavoured with elderflower. We're past the season for elderflowers and I don't have any dried elderflower, so I'm using this elderflower cordial. The one I've chosen here doesn't have any preservatives in, which would otherwise prevent the yeast from successfully fermenting the wine out. The first stage is to hydrate the yeast following the pack instructions. Then I add the white grape juice to the fermenting bin, measure the specific gravity, and add the elderflower cordial until the gravity is where we want it. I'm aiming for a gravity of 1.090, which should hopefully give us a finished wine around 12% alcohol by volume. Right, so with just white grape juice, our gravity isn't as high as it needs to be yet. Currently it's around 1.0, between 1.06 and 1.07 there. So I'm going to add our elderflower cordial and the sugar that's in here. I'm hoping, because it's quite, with it being a cordial, it's quite concentrated. I'm hoping it will bring it up to the level we need. My concern though is that the grape juice itself is quite acidic, but although it doesn't have preservatives in, this cordial has got lemon juice and citric acid in it. So I am a little worried that by using this for the sugar, I could really make a wine that's far too acidic. So that's half a bottle there that I've added, which says makes 10 pints. So that's 5 pints worth I've got in there. And as a rough kind of feeling that I've got, I think that's enough as I'm prepared to add. I really don't want to make this so acidic that it strips your teeth. So I can either have the wine as is, quite a light wine, or I could add some sugar to up the gravity. Right, I've just added a little bit of sugar to this to raise its gravity up. It's not as high as I was intending of 1.090. The gravity I've got here is about 1.08. Ready to pitch in our yeast. So we're going to do a bit of a stir, disperse all the yeast. There it goes. And give it a good vigorous whisking to aerate this must. And give the yeast a good kick start. Then I'll loosely put the lid on and leave that to ferment. After a few months in the demijohn, the wine has now fermented out. The bubbles have got less frequent and have now abated, coming out of the bubble trap. And now I'm going to siphon into another demijohn, use that opportunity to have a little taste, see how we've fared, and once it's in this demijohn, I'm going to stabilise the wine, and then we can bottle it. Right. Whoa! Okay, that's how you get wine all over the kitchen. Spraying wine all over the kitchen has given me the advantage of judging the aroma, giving a nice surface area for all the volatiles to come into the atmosphere. Right. Rather than having a taste by licking the wine off the walls, I'm going to put a small amount in the glass there. Right, so that's siphoning. Let's have a little look. It's a deep golden yellow colour. Don't know if you can see that with the angle of the light. It's got a lovely elderflower aroma to it. It's nice and crisp actually, it's not, I don't think it's too acidic. I was a bit concerned with the citric acid and lemon juice in the elderflower cordial that it might have been too acidic, but, and I've not degassed this yet, that's very nice actually. I'd be quite happy to have that as a table wine. Lovely. So for a recap of what's gone into this wine, not a great deal. I've mostly filled a demijohn with white grape juice. I've also added 250 ml of this elderflower cordial. I didn't measure the amount of sugar that went into it, I just used the hydrometer as I added the sugar until it got up to the gravity I wanted. To aid speed of the sugar dissolving, I actually used icing sugar. And I used a Jervin white wine yeast. All fermented at room temperature during summer and actually over winter. It didn't need to be left that long to ferment, it's just that I haven't had a lot of free time. But it has allowed this wine to clear naturally. Now, ready to degass. Degassing done by periodically shaking the demijohn of wine, leaving it to stand, and then repeating the process. Add a Camberton tablet to kill off any yeast, and then I will add a stabilizer to ensure that nothing else gets in there to ferment it. I'll be using potassium sorbate, an equal amount of potassium sorbate to the amount of Camberton tablet that I use. Job's a good one.